Hello and welcome to this fourth part of the series, Death, Where is Your Sting? Now, in the time before the crucifixion, where did people go when they died? A part of Hannah's prayer, 1 Samuel 2:6. The Lord kills and brings to life. He brings down to Sheol and raises up. This verse is very general, with the two halves of the verse mirroring each other. Kill means to send to Sheol. Bring to life means raises up. As there is no qualifying statement, we must assume that this is a general principle that is universally applicable. In other words, everyone went to somewhere called Sheol. Psalm 89 verse 48. What man can live and never see death? Who can deliver his soul from the power of Sheol? And this verse has two rhetorical questions, for the answer to both is no one. Everyone will die and everyone will end up in Sheol. Now, Sheol is sometimes referred to as the place of the dead, or the underworld. There has been much spoken and painted on the subject of hell, as though it is a final destination for those God deems wicked. There have been many paintings depicting hordes of demons tormenting the powerless, damned people in horrible ways, with a hint that this is an eternal condition. Or another view is that hell is just a place where God is not, but that there are lots of people there. Now, there is an element of truth in these ideas, but the main concept is wrong. However, it may be a good plan to first indicate what this hell place is biblically. In the old authorised King James Version of the Bible, and in many subsequent versions, the English word hell is always derived from the Hebrew word Sheol in the Old Testament. In the New Testament, there are three Greek words that get translated as hell: Hades, Gehenna and Tartarus. Now, Hades is the Greek form of the Hebrew concept of Sheol, so they are synonymous. They both refer to the same place. The place Hades does occur in the ancient Greek mythologies as a place of the dead. It was the place that all the dead went, whether they were considered good or bad. Gehenna. This is a Greek pronunciation of the Jewish Valley of Ben Hinnom. This is a valley that was just outside the city of Jerusalem and was used variously as a rubbish dump, complete with incinerators, or a sacrificial site by at least two kings of Judah as the place to sacrifice their children to pagan gods, something God found utterly abhorrent. So this valley became synonymous with a place of torment, of torture and of death, such that by the time of Jesus, its name was a pseudonym for a place of eternal torment. Gehenna is mentioned 12 times by Jesus in the Gospels, and each time the implication is that Gehenna is a very unpleasant place to go to, with tormenting fire that never goes out and where the worm never dies. Now, Jesus was clearly not referring to the physical valley. He was instead referring to another place, a place where a person goes after they have died. There is an implication that Gehenna is a permanent destination, though that is not explicitly stated anywhere. Likewise, there is an implication It is a place of destruction for the body and soul. For example, in Matthew 10:28, Tartarus is the deepest, darkest part of Hades and may correspond to Gehenna, but not as a permanent destination. This place only occurs in the Bible once, in 2 Peter 2:4. For if God did not spare angels when they sinned, but cast them into hell, or Tartarus, and committed them to chains of gloomy darkness to be kept until the judgment. Now in Greek mythology, Tartarus is a deep abyss, that is a prison of torment and suffering for the exceptionally wicked. Now Sheol. The biblical way of indicating where Sheol is down, sometimes implying that it is below the ground. However, Sheol is not a physical place, it is a spiritual place occupied by the souls and spirits of people. So you cannot just dig a deep enough hole and find yourself in Sheol. But that is where the Bible pictures it. So with that in mind, the following picture illustrates the biblical idea of Sheol. The outer circle represents the earth, while everywhere inside that circle represents Sheol. And then the deepest and darkest parts correspond to Gehenna or Tartarus. Now, this is the most simplistic picture of Sheol or Hades, and is not to be interpreted as any kind of physical arrangement. In the Old Testament, in various translations, we come across a couple of other words that indicate Sheol. The first is the grave, and the second is the pit. The usage of the word grave seems to point to it being a general term, a bit like Sheol, whereas whenever the word pit is used, there is always a negative connotation that it is a very undesirable place to end up. There is therefore a possibility that the pit can be viewed as being Gehenna or Tartarus. And it is the pit that comes closest to our concept of hell. However, as we shall see later, the crucial difference between the pit and our idea of hell is that the pit is merely a holding place or kind of waiting room until the final judgment or pronouncement, whereas hell is perceived as being an eternal place. So, that concludes the fourth part of this series, Death, Where is Your Sting? Thank you for watching.